За сайн байцгаана уу? Юуны өмнө цаг зав гарган энэ вебинарт оролцож байгаа та бүхэндээ баярлалаа. За өнөөдөр болохоор бүгдээрээ Logsign SIEM шийдэлтэй танилцах вебинар хийх байгаа. За вебинарын туршил таны микрофон хаалттай байх болно. Вебинарын бичлэг бол хийгдэж явж байгаа. Вебинарын дараа та бүхэнд бүртгэлтэй имэйлээр нь бичлэг нь орчих байгаа. Хэрвээ танд ямар нэгэн байдлаар асуух асуулт байгаа бол та Q&A session дээр ерөөдөө асуултаа асууад чатан дээр мөн давхар бичээж авах боломжтой байгаа шүү. За өнөөдрийн вебинарын нэр маань болохоор Turn Logs into Defense буюу лог бүрийг хамгаалт болгоё гэсэн нэрийн доор өнөөдрийн вебинараа зохион байгуулж байна. За вебинарын ерөөдөө үтцийн хувьд бол Progress Systems нь өөрсдөө компани товчхон танилцуулгыг яваад түүний араас Logsign шийдвэрийн талаар Logsign-ы зүгээс уг нь манай Мартин маань оролцоод танилцуулга хийх байсан. За одоогоор арай хандаж амжаагүй байх шиг байна. За түүний араас Logsign SIEM шийдлийг саяд Senior Solution Architect demonstration хийж демо үзүүлэх байгаа бидэрт. За түүний төгсгөлт нь болохоор Q&A session явуулах байгаа. За Progress Systems-ийн хувьд бол манай байгууллага нь дэлхийн тэргуулах програм хангамж кибер аюулгүй байдлын бүтээгдэхүүнийг Монголын зах зээлд албан ёсны дистрибьютор эрхтэйг нийлүүлдэг. Аюулгүй байдлын үндэсний цоргонц дистрибьютор байгуулах гэдгийг маань та бүхэн сайн мэдж байгаа байх. За товчхон Logsign шийдлийн талаар танилцуулаад ерөнхийдөө Logsign маань бол дан ганц SIEM шийдэл биш. Дотроо Source automation-ыг агуулсан систем болон хэрэглэгчийн зам төлөвийг таних функцтэй мөн threat intelligence feed авах боломжтой. Ийм боломжтойгоос гадна өөрсдийн гэсэн open threat intelligence feed ашигладаг гэдгээр бас их онцлогтой ийм шийдэл байгаа. За үүнээс цааш манай Logsign-ы зүгээс ерөнхийдөө инженер маань танилцуулга хийж явах. So now I would like to invite our next speaker. Saeed, are you there? Oh, Martin.
Yes, Batman, I'm here with you, and Martin is also here. So what we'll do, in line with our planned agenda, we'll hand over to Martin for a 10 minutes quick introduction of Logsign, and after that, I'll take over. Martin, over to you.
Yes, hello.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining this webinar. My name is Martin. I'm the chief.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So let me maximize it. Okay. So first of all, colleagues, I would like to thank you for taking out time to join the call on behalf of the entire Logsign team. And I would like to also thank all my colleagues from Progress team for organizing this wonderful and informative webinar. And in line with the agenda that was just now proposed by my colleagues from the Progress team, what we are going to do is we are going to spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes on our product presentation. And after that, I'm going to take you to the product dashboard. Okay. We are going to talk about the next-gen SIEM capabilities offered by Logsign and the threat detection, investigation, and response capabilities, which means that you don't have to use a separate SOAR platform. Along with that, we'll also see the threat intelligence and UEBA capabilities and some of the differentiators of what makes Logsign stand apart in the crowd. So colleagues, before we start our presentation, I wanted to give you a quick background of our solution, Logsign. So we have been in the industry for more than 15 years now. And we have our presence in different countries across the globe, in US and Netherlands and Europe and Middle East, Africa, Asia, even up to the Southeast Asian region. We are an organization who's known to provide smart and clutter-free next-generation security solutions. And here's where you can see the timeline of our organization. The reason why I wanted to show you this timeline is to help you understand that all these solutions, all the technologies and tools that I spoke about, they are all developed by us, right from SIEM to SOAR, threat intelligence, UEBA, they are all developed by us. We are not dependent on any third-party tool or solution to offer you these capabilities on a single platform. Now, until a couple of years back, colleagues, at Logsign, we were offering two different solutions. One was the Logsign SIEM, and the other was the Logsign SOAR. So we decided to build a new platform by bringing in all these capabilities on a single platform. And we launched this unified SecOps platform, which I'm going to present you today. And colleagues, if you ask me why we made this change or why we made this enhancement, I can say that this is something that was recommended by Gartner in line with the recommendations from Gartner. And this also came as a requirement from some of our partners and customers. So just a couple of years back, we started offering the Logsign Unified SecOps platform. And here is where, colleagues, you can see some of the recognitions that have been bestowed on us. So we are an organization who's followed by almost all the security authorities and independent research companies like Gartner, Forrester Now, KuppingerCole, Cybersecurity Excellence, and more. You can see that we are mentioned in the Gartner Magic Quadrant report under honorable mentions for 3 years in a row. Besides that, you can see some of the recognitions from G2, Cybersecurity Excellence, and these are some of the reviews from Gartner peers. Speaking about how we help organizations to improve their cybersecurity posture by bringing all these capabilities on a single platform. So I would like to speak maybe a couple of minutes here on this slide to explain you the differentiators and the key features or capabilities offered on our platform. So colleagues, what I've seen in the industry is that we have seen organizations use different tools offered by different vendors. So they may be using SIEM from one vendor, SOAR from another vendor, threat intelligence, UEBA, all these different solutions and capabilities from different vendors. So what happens here is that the security teams of those organizations will have to invest a good amount of time into the integrations of all these different solutions. Okay. And whenever there is any update launched from a specific vendor, they have to ensure that the integrations are working as desired. And whenever the security teams would want to do any kind of threat hunting or correlation in real time, it is more time consuming and less efficient because the data is scattered across different platforms offered by different vendors. So here's where we have seen organizations struggle with the complex patchwork of solutions. They have broken connections, they have fragmented visibility, as I mentioned, because of lack of centralized monitoring that leaves blind spots. The organizations fall behind the threats because manual responses are slow and inefficient in case of any kind of sophisticated attacks. And the repetitive tasks definitely drain the resources and slows down the operations of the security teams. So in order to address all these challenges, colleagues, what we did, we brought all the capabilities of a next-gen SIEM along with threat detection, investigation and response, threat intelligence, UEBA, everything on a single platform, so that the security teams of those organizations don't have to worry about integration of all these different tools offered by different vendors. So they get to work on a single pane of glass that provides a holistic view of the security posture of the organization. And since our platform offers next-gen SIEM capabilities, you can seamlessly integrate all your existing future security tools, breaking down the silos for holistic defense, which means that you can easily scale the architecture in future if required. You can integrate all your existing network and security tools, database servers, DLP solutions, or any network or security solutions that you are using in your organization, so that the Logsign Unified SecOps platform acts as a collaboration hub, providing you a centralized dashboard, which is user-friendly and providing you complete operational visibility. And then our platform also offers threat detection and investigation and response capabilities, which means that you don't have to use a separate SOAR platform. Here, what I'm trying to explain is that when there is any kind of alert in the organization, okay, our platform offers you capabilities to perform fully automated actions using your existing network and security solutions to deal with those alerts. For example, you can use your firewall integration. Okay, you can integrate it with our platform and perform actions like blocking or unblocking an IP address on the firewall. You can block or unblock a URL. Okay, you can use the EDR. When you integrate it with our platform, you can perform response actions to deal with alerts in a fully automated or semi-automated manner, where you can use the EDR to shut down a computer, to reboot a computer, to isolate a host on the network. Okay, so all these different actions can be performed using 100+ response integrations, which I'm going to talk about when I move further in the presentation and the demonstration. And with that, our platform comes with threat intelligence capabilities. So here we are using our own threat intelligence platform where we have TI feeds coming from 45+ well-trusted global vendors. Okay. And the threat intelligence, using this, you can leverage real-time actionable threat intelligence to stay one step ahead of any kind of evolving cyber threats. So this means that in case, okay, if there is an IP address with a bad risk score or bad reputation, if it is trying to establish connection to an internal network, to your internal network, and if it is a listed in TI feeds, you will also have information on that specific IP address. Or consider a scenario, your internal users might be trying to establish connection to an external IP address with a bad risk score or a bad reputation. So these kind of detailed information related to the IPs through the threat intelligence is made available on the platform. And with all these capabilities, colleagues, you get the collaborative advantage. You can leverage centralized threat databases for unified detection, correlation, and response across your entire security stack. Let's continue further, colleagues. So here is where you can see all the capabilities offered on our unified SecOps platform. So here, our tool, our platform not only fulfills your organization's requirement for SIEM platform, but you also get out-of-the-box reporting and compliance capabilities. So you're going to get hundreds of out-of-the-box reports for different products offered by different vendors. These reports can be installed with a single click. You can download the reports in PDF, Excel, CSV, or HTML format. These reports are completely customizable. You can create new report for any ad hoc or executive reporting purposes. Okay. And then another important feature is that the platform also comes with out-of-the-box reports for different compliance purposes like GDPR, PCI DSS, ISO 27001, HIPAA, GLBA, SOX. They are all available out of the box. Another function, another feature here I would like to talk about is the scheduled report feature, colleagues. So in case if the security teams are sending regular reports, maybe to the colleagues in the security team or the executive team or any other stakeholder on a regular basis, they don't have to repeat it manually. They can automate this process of sending the reports through scheduled email in a regular way, so that you save time to do some important jobs in order to improve the security posture of the organization. As I mentioned, we offer threat intelligence capabilities. So here we are using 45+ well-trusted global TI feeds to provide you insights related to TI in real time. Another important feature, colleagues, is the superpowered data lake capabilities offered on our platform. So Logsign Unified SecOps Platform is a Hadoop embedded solution. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that it can be deployed on-prem. Okay, it can be deployed in a hybrid environment because we are offering a complete on-prem solution. You want to deploy it in a distributed network. Okay, you want to achieve high availability. Everything is possible. So the deployment models are pretty flexible. So based on your requirements, we can make sure that the deployment can be done in line with the requirement of your organization's environment. Okay. And then when I say the Logsign Unified SecOps platform can be scaled vertically and horizontally, I'm speaking here about a scenario. For example, say you have a system which has 5,000 EPS. Okay. So the EPS amount can change in future, which means it can increase, say it can increase to 8,000 or 10,000. In that case, what you can easily do is you can easily add new nodes and servers to scale the architecture to handle more EPS amounts. And also as vertical, you can have role-based or service-based scalable and redundant architecture. So you can consider something where you can have first node only for collecting events, the second one for monitoring, the third node for detection, the fourth node for response. So you can always scale the architecture up to enterprise grade scalability very easily. And the best thing is that you get long-term data storage because being an on-prem solution, you get advanced data retention for hot and cold data. So we offer complete customizable data retention policies so that you can define your own data retention policies for the index and archive data. And also it is really fast and simple to deploy the solution in hybrid environments. You can filter the data using the data policy manager. which is offered on our platform. A demo mode is a simulation mode of offered on the Logsign platform, which I'm going to talk more about when I move to the product dashboard. Okay. And with that, colleagues, you can also see these capabilities here: incident response, threat detection, incident management. Okay, they all come from our SOAR experience, which means you can perform fully automated actions, you can perform semi-automated actions. So the security teams will have complete visibility on the incidents occurring in your organization. I'm going to talk more about the features of incident management when I move further. And with these colleagues, you are also going to get the UEBA capabilities out of the box on the platform. So user and entity behavior analytics. So if your organization is looking to fulfill some kind of use cases, where you would want to identify insider threat actors based on malicious activity. You want to stop data exfiltration. You want to monitor users' access to critical data. So these kind of use cases can be fulfilled with UEBA. So with UEBA, you can keep a track of all the top notable users and assets based on their risk score. And on top of all these colleagues, you're going to get security analytics, close to 100 dashboards for different categories. Like threat intelligence, you get analytics for networks, identity management, user overview, VPN users overview, alerts, behaviors, database activities, rules, everything is available out of the box. Even here, colleagues, all these dashboards are completely customizable, okay? You can download the dashboards, you can create a new dashboard, you can perform a dynamic search on the dashboard itself, which means you don't even have to write a query to perform the search. Here, you can also customize the time frame on the dashboard so that you can see the analytics for the last 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. So that is completely customizable. So let's move further, colleagues. So here's where I would like to talk about the differentiators offered by Logsign. Okay, I've already spoken about all the capabilities of our platform that makes it a unified whole platform. Another important feature, colleagues, if you are planning to procure a solution for your organization, you need to see that the solution should be user-friendly. So the Logsign Unified SecOps platform is very user-friendly. You don't need to know any kind of query language in order to perform the search, to do any kind of threat hunting, to do any kind of correlations. You can easily create reports and dashboards in no time. So our platform is very user-friendly, which you will also see when I move to the dashboard. And then we offer a complete hassle-free deployment. So if you're suggesting, if you are going to recommend the Logsign Unified SecOps platform for your customers, you really don't have to worry about the deployment, because with Logsign, the deployment is really fast. So unlike other vendors who are going to take months to deploy the solution, the deployment of our platform can be done in days with minimum effort from your side, because all the assistance for the deployment will be provided by our global customer experience team, which means you can simply sit back and relax while the deployment is done for your customers. Another important fact, colleagues, is that our platform is very fast because, as I mentioned, Logsign is a Hadoop embedded solution. And with that, we are also using one of the fastest search tools available in the industry right now, so that when you're performing the search, you get results out of millions of queries within milliseconds. And the most important fact, colleague, unlike the vendors, our platform is offering licensing. We offer licensing for our platform, which is stress-free with no hidden cost. So unlike other vendors who are going to charge your customers based on the size of the logs or the amount of the EPS, we absolutely don't do that. Our licensing is completely based on the count or the amount of the log data sources which you integrate on our platform for data collection. Okay, so you might be integrating maybe 10 servers, a couple of firewalls, maybe 10 switches, or an email server, identity management. So you can consider it a one IP address or one API integration to be considered as one log data source. So this is how easy the licensing with Logsign is. Okay. So here's where, colleagues, what you're going to get out of the box. You're going to get all these capabilities that I spoke about out of the box. So the Logsign Unified SecOps platform comes with next-gen SIEM capabilities, including threat detection, investigation, and response, threat intelligence module, and UEBA module as well. So these are the two add-on modules which can be recommended to your customers on case-to-case basis. So one is a leaf module, Leaf module is recommended for organizations operating in a distributed network. So if you or your organization plan to collect the logs from your branch offices operating in a distributed network, what you can do is you can simply deploy the leaf collectors. Let me show you the architecture for a better understanding. So here, what you need to do is you need to simply deploy the leaf collectors. Leaf collectors is nothing but high capacity data collectors. Okay, so you can consider Logsign as a tree. These leaves will collect the events from the log data sources from the branch offices operating in a distributed network and send it to the headquarter in a fully secured and encrypted manner. So we have kept Leaf as an add-on module for organizations that's operating in a distributed network. Apart from that, there is another add-on module that is a cluster module. So this requirement, you will see colleagues, will be very common if you are dealing with organizations who are government agencies or customers coming from BFSI segment, healthcare, or any other projects or infrastructure that you can consider critical and they need high availability feature. So if your customers are asking for high availability feature, if your organization needs high availability, to achieve data and service redundancy, you can definitely go for the cluster module that is absolutely available with Logsign. So this is something that is not only going to help you to achieve high availability, but it will help you to ensure that you're also getting data and service redundancy for seamless operations in your organization. Okay, colleagues. And before we go to the demo, colleagues, so here's where I would like to talk about the custom plugin features. So what we are offering colleagues out of the box are 500 plus out of the box log collection integrations for different products offered by different vendors and 100 plus response integrations, which you can use for your existing products in order to perform response actions to deal with different alerts. Okay. And the best thing is that, colleagues, if you or your organization, your customers are using any kind of log data sources which are not available out of the box, you really don't have to worry about it because you can see we offer free plugin services and our product team will be available to create any custom passes based on your requirement absolutely at no extra cost. So this is the advantage that you get with Logsign, colleagues. You don't have to worry about any kind of non-standard application or in-house developed or custom application, which is forwarding logs to a SIEM solution, and you're looking for a custom plugin for that, we'll do it for you. And since the Logsign Unified SecOps platform acts and sits at the heart of your security operations center, where you're going to integrate all your network devices, your on-prem applications, applications from the cloud, operating system, security system, vulnerability tools. You're not only collecting the log, so on the Logsign Unified SecOps platform, you can also perform the threat detection, investigation, and response capabilities, as I mentioned before. So using the same platform to perform all these actions is definitely going to help you to reduce your mean time to detect and the mean time to respond. And colleagues, I would like to talk about one more slide. Okay, so here's where you can see the real-time enrichment and advanced correlation capabilities offered on our platform. So what we say is that, colleagues, it is important to find the data, but it is more important to find the results in a readily available way that can help you and your security team to do a comprehensive lookup. So in order to do that, colleagues, we are enriching the data on our platform using real-time enrichment and advanced correlation techniques. So consider this scenario, colleagues. You're looking at an event coming from your firewall. So on the firewall, you can just see the IP interface details. But this is always not enough for your security team to do a detailed and comprehensive lookup. So here's where you can see a screenshot of an event coming from our platform. You can see we are using all these different enrichment techniques to provide you detailed information related to the event. You can see the username and host name is coming from the asset and identity enrichment capabilities. This information you see here is coming from the geolocation services. You can see the position is coming from the network services that will help you to identify if this event's IP address is an internal or external IP address. You can see the active directory username coming from the instant data processing. behavior-related details coming from the behavior enrichment capabilities of Logsign. And then if this IP has been matched in threat intelligence, you will also see a threat intelligence column here, providing you more information related to this IP address. And apart from all these enrichment techniques, colleagues, the correlation is supported using 1000+ predefined correlation rules, which are developed using all these different methods that you see here. And again, another important thing, colleagues, all these correlation rules are completely customizable. You can modify the threshold values, or if you want to create any custom correlation rules, that is also really easy on our platform. For example, if you're looking for correlation rule, okay, to create a correlation rule to fulfill a specific use case where you want to monitor users who are accessing specific resource after office hours or during weekends. So yes, that is possible. You can create any kind of custom correlation rules on our platform. That is also very easy. So colleagues, I think it is time for us to move to our product dashboard. And I'm going to pause my screen for a moment to log into my demo instance. And then I'm going to take you through the dashboard. Okay. So colleagues, I hope you can see my dashboard now. Okay. So as I mentioned, colleagues, thank you for confirming. As I mentioned, colleagues, the installation of our platform is very easy. Okay, so all you need is a dedicated server. So what we are going to do based on your requirement, okay, our colleagues from our progress team, our partner progress team will share with you an assessment form. You can provide us the information in the assessment form. And then based on the information provided in the assessment form, we will recommend you the system specifications for the deployment. So here's where I brought it up on the screen to give you an overview of the system requirements. Although, as I mentioned before, our licensing is not based on the size of the EPS. I'm showing you the size of the EPS or the requirement of the systems for different customer environments. Okay, so you can see here a customer with 3000 EPS having 7 days of data retention will need a system with 32 core CPU and 64 GB RAM. And here is the same customer with 3000 EPS. Okay, if he's looking for 90 days of index data retention, they will need a system with higher specification. And the reason behind this is the index data is the live data that is going to utilize a lot of system resources. So the high number of index data retention, the higher the system specifications will be required. And colleagues, it is always recommended to have a cluster architecture for environments having 5000 EPS. Okay, you can start with a minimum of 3 servers. And we are offering an active cluster architecture here, which is based on Hadoop. And when we are dealing with any customer environment, okay, which we say has got 5000 EPS, okay, it means that we are dealing with a big data environment, okay. And here a cluster architecture is always recommended to achieve high availability and also to achieve optimum performance in the production environment. But yes, in case if you still don't want to go with a cluster architecture with 5000 EPS, a standalone architecture of our platform can support 5000 EPS up to 30 days or 60 days of index data retention. So yes, that is also possible. But as I mentioned before, in order to achieve optimum performance in the production environment with customer environments having more than 5000 EPS, it is always recommended to go with the cluster architecture. Let me show you how easy the installation is, colleagues. So the installation is done on a dedicated server. It can be a physical server. It can be a virtual server. It can be a cloud server on a private cloud. Okay. And here you can see a single ISO file is what you need. You're going to get the complete installation package with the operating system, database, everything. You don't need different licenses for different operating systems or databases. Okay. And here's where you can also see the screenshots providing you details of how the installation is done. You can also feel free to register on our support portal, that is support.logsign.net. There is a lot of information available here. All the information that I'm providing you during the demonstration is also available here. You can see the product guides, knowledge-based articles, and I'm sure you will also find answers to almost all your how-to questions on our support portal. And whenever you need any assistance from our global customer experience team, you can simply submit a request by logging on to our support portal. Okay. Now, colleagues, once the installation is done, okay, the first step would be to access the console of your Logsign server, the web console of your Logsign server. Okay. And then we start integrating the log data sources. As I mentioned before, colleagues, The assistance for the deployment will be provided by our global customer experience team. What I'm going to show you now, how easy it is in order to do the integration of different log data sources. Okay. Now, in order to drastically slash the deployment times, we have made this option available here. So all you have to do is create an Excel file with these headings, okay, and then provide the details of your log data sources, what kind of information you need. So you can simply select the vendor here. You can see the product, and then you only provide these details. You can provide vendor details, product details, and the other information that you see here. And then you simply upload the Excel file here that will slash the deployment time. So all your information related to the log data sources can be made available on a single ISO Excel file, and then you can import it here on our platform. And if you plan to also manually do the integrations, it is also very easy. Here is where you can also see different integration methodologies offered on our platform. Now, for network and security devices, colleagues, we mostly use the syslog integration. Once you select syslog, here's where within the data collection, you will see more than 500 plus out-of-the-box integrations for different products. Okay, for example, you want to integrate a product from this vendor. Okay, you can simply select the product, provide the IP address, give a device name, click on save, and the integration is done on our platform. So it is very easy, and you can see the list is very long. So almost all the well-known vendors you can think about, you get the integrations available out of the box. If you want to collect the logs from any of your applications hosted on the cloud, you can simply use the API integration. Once you select API, you will see some of the out-of-the-box integrations available here for different vendors like AWS, you've got Azure, okay, you've got Cisco products, you've got Google Workspace, okay, you've got Office 365, they are all available out of the box. And if you or your customers are using advanced database tools like PostgreSQL, SAP, or IBM DB2, that is also available out of the box. Besides that, you can see some of the out-of-the-box integrations for databases like HANA-DB. You've got MongoDB, you've got MS SQL, MySQL, Oracle, they are all available. If your organization is using Fileorbis or GTB, the integration is also available out of the box to collect file management activities. Here's where, colleagues, you can see the Logsign leaf. So if you have deployed a Logsign leaf in a branch office, which is operating in a distributed network, you can simply collect the events using the IP address of the Logsign leaf. And with that, colleagues, you also get out-of-the-box integrations, okay, for using flow integration. So different flow types, NetFlow V5, V9, IPFix, SFlow, and more. So this will help you to collect logs related to different network activities of different network devices, okay? And if you're using any applications or solutions which are dumping logs on a file or a folder, you can use SFTP or Samba Share based on different operating systems. We also offer complete agentless integrations to collect events for Microsoft Event Viewer for workstations and servers. Okay, all you have to do is just enable audits logging on your Windows server and collect the logs from them. Okay, but we know that this might soon be declared as end of life by the vendor. And in order to deal with this scenario, colleagues, what we have done, we are also supporting third-party agents. So you can also deploy NXLog agents on your Windows server and start collecting the logs from your Windows servers. Okay. So as I mentioned, colleagues, all the information which I'm presenting you for integration, data collection is made available on our platform in a detailed manner. And colleagues, you remember I spoke about the custom plugin feature. Okay. So what you need to do if you're using a tool or a solution that is not available out of the box, all you have to do is just create a ticket on our support portal. Okay. And if it is an on-prem solution, you can provide as the sample logs. If it is a cloud-based app, you can provide as an API guide, and our product team will help you with the creation of custom plugin. But if you want to do it yourself, you can also see we've got it available here on the platform. You just go to custom plugin, click on the option to add a custom plugin. Okay, you can give your product name and select how you want to parse the logs. You can parse using a rule, using a regular expression, multiple rules, key value, JSON, W3C, and more. Okay, so this is very easy. And as I mentioned, colleagues, you can see all the information that I'm presenting you is available on our support portal. You can see how you can use custom plugins, okay, how you can parse using different methods. There are detailed articles available. So with little training, you can also do that. Now, having said this, as I mentioned before, our product team will be always available to assist you to create any kind of custom plugins. Let us go to the demo mode, colleagues. So this is the demo mode, colleagues, which I wanted to talk about, which I mentioned about in the presentation. So colleagues, this is a simulation mode offered on our platform. Okay, so you can see a lot of products available out of the box. So what you have to do is simply come here, enable it, and Logsign will start generating the sample logs. So this will give you an opportunity to see how a device would work with Logsign in real time, even before you integrate it. So you will see how the logs are normalized, how the correlation is done. You can see sample dashboards, you can see some sample events. So what is the use case for it? Okay, say your organization is using a Fortinet firewall. You want to change it to Checkpoint. You can simply come here, select Checkpoint and enable it, and you will see these sample events so that you can see how Checkpoint would work with Logsign in real time. So this was all about data collection, colleagues. Let us move to the response integrations. As I mentioned during the presentation, colleagues, our platform not only offers SIEM capabilities, but beyond that, it offers automated and semi-automated response capabilities using your existing network and security solutions. So we are offering 100 plus out-of-the-box response integrations for different products you might be using like EDR, DLP, firewall, IDS, IPS, SNAC, and more. And if you're closely looking at these products, colleagues, I can say that you may be already using some of these products, okay? And how we are integrating these products on our platform, colleagues, we are completely following an API integration approach here, okay? For example, you've got TrapMind. You can simply come here and integrate it with Logsign. Just provide the API details. And once this is integrated with Logsign, in order to deal with any alerts on our platform, you can perform all these actions in a fully automated or semi-automated manner. You can reboot a computer, you can shut down a computer, you can kill a process, okay? You can delete a file, you can enable network isolation for a host, okay? Or when you integrate your firewall on our platform, okay? It's very easy again. You simply have to provide your firewall details, and then to deal with any alert, you can perform fully automated actions like blocking or unblocking an IP address on the firewall. You can block or unblock a URL, okay? Or for example, you've integrated your LDAP. So this is how the UEBA also works, colleagues, because our platform is completely an agentless integration that offers an agentless integration. So by simply configuring your LDAP, okay, what you can do, you can perform response actions, okay? So you can disable a user on the LDAP, okay, you can remove user from a group, you can reset a password. And by using this specific integration for the UEBA, colleagues, what we are going to do, we are going to synchronize the LDAP here, okay? And then we can collect the details of the assets and also the users from your LDAP server, which will be used for UEBA. And with that, colleagues, okay, if you have subscribed for an SMS gateway, you can integrate it with our platform and you can send SMS for any alerts from our platform. You can send messages on Telegram, okay? You can send messages on Microsoft Teams, okay? You want to send an email, notify your team about alerts. You want to send email with reports. That is also possible. And with that, colleagues, okay, if your organization, okay, if you're using any service desk management tools, you want any kind of ticket to be created, you can also do that. Whenever any kind of alert is triggered, you can also create an incident, a ticket on your service desk management tool. And even here, colleagues, if you're using any specific tools that you want to use a response tool, then all you have to do is just submit a request on our support portal and our product team will help you with that. So most of the time, we only need the API guide to complete the integration of those products on our platform. And in order to reduce the noise, colleagues, you can, you want to drop the logs, you can create your own data policy here, okay? And with that, colleagues, one important thing which I would like to talk about in line with the SIEM capabilities, the data retention policies, as I mentioned, they are completely customizable. You can define your own data retention policies for hard data. Maybe you want to keep it for 7 days or 15 days, okay? Or you want to keep the archive data maybe for a period of 6 months or 1 year or maybe 2 years. So that is completely customizable, okay? And then you have the archive data available, okay? And if you want to optimally utilize the storage of the Logsign server, you want to move the archive data to a FTP server, you can also do that from here. So this will help you to move the archive data to an external storage, maybe an FTP server using port 21. Okay. So that was it, colleagues, related to data collection, response integration, custom plugin, demo mode, and data retention policies. So what happens is that, colleagues, once you've completed data collection integration, you will see all the events coming here on the search module. And as I mentioned, colleagues, during the presentation, we are using one of the fastest search tool available in the industry right now. And you will see how fast and easy it is to use. It is very user-friendly. You can see I've got more than 369,000 events on my platform between the specific duration. I want to filter the events for specific durations. I can simply select here and say, I want to see the events for the last 3 minutes, last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 hours, 12 hours or more. I can select the duration, click on apply. And here's where you can see in the last 3 hours, I got more than 17,000 events on my platform. And here's where you can see the list of events. So here you can see events with different colors and categories showing different severity levels. And with that, colleagues, if you want to filter the events for specific date and time, you can use the date and time picker. And with that, you can also see the time analysis feature available on our platform for different time duration. So this will help the security teams to identify if there is any peak in the events in the organization. Okay. For example, I want to do the analysis of events during this peak. I can simply select the peak here. And you can see during this peak, I got 6,846 events and all the events are listed here. Okay. And this is something that will help the security teams to do a first-hand analysis of the events. So this will help them understand, okay, you can see 6,846 events. This will help them understand if the events during this peak were coming from a specific IP address, or if they were coming from a specific port, or they are coming from a specific log data source. So this is something that will help them to do the first-hand analysis. And how do we perform the search, colleagues? It is very easy. All you have to do is just type @sign, and you will see all the mini queries available on our platform. Okay, for example, I want to see all the events categorized as attack events on my platform. You simply select the mini query, click on search, and all the events are filtered. You can see out of hundreds of thousands of events, we have got 5,522 events categorized as attack events. When you click on any of the event, you see more details related to the event is available here. Now, this is the advantage of Logsign being a Hadoop embedded solution, colleagues, which means regardless of where the data is coming from, normalization on our platform is done in a standard format. You can see all the information is clearly segregated and provided to you in the nested column architecture. You can see information related to the source of the event like source city, country, IP, port, MAC, location. Similarly, information related to the destination of the event, where exactly the event is categorized, where it is coming from. You can see this event is coming from the firewall. This is the IP address of the firewall. You can see the vendor details, and here's where you can see the position services, helping you to identify if an IP address is an internal or external IP address. And not only this, colleagues, what you can do, you can use all the information highlighted in blue in order to write your own search queries. Okay. For example, out of all these 5,522 events, I want to see events categorized as attack events originating from this IP address. I just click on it and it is added to the search bar. I click on search and you can see out of more than 5,000 events, 55 events categorized as attack events originating from this IP address. Now, what I would like to also do is I want to write a query where I want to see all the events categorized as attack events from this source IP address, and this is the destination IP address. You just click on it, and it is added to the search bar. You click on search, and you can see we've been able to drill down to one event out of hundreds of thousands of events in no time. So this is how fast our platform is. And then, colleagues, if you want to fine-tune your search queries, you want to use Boolean operators like and, or, not, you want to use round braces, square braces, curly braces, that is also possible, colleagues. And whenever you have written any kind of complex query, colleagues, you don't have to remember or rewrite it. What you can do is you can simply go to the settings option, okay? And here you can see something called as mini queries. You simply go here paste your query, give it a name, and save it on our platform, and it will appear here. You can see the user mini queries that have been created on my platform. You can also see some of the predefined mini queries. So the next time, whenever you want to run your query, just type Logsign. You will see your query in the list. Okay, you can select the query, click on search, and then you get the results. So this is how fast and easy it is, colleagues. Now with this, colleagues, okay, we also offer smart filters that you see on the left side. Okay, so here you can see regardless of the source of the event, okay, regardless of the event source, you will see the list of IP addresses with the count of events. I want to see events for this specific source IP address. I can simply apply the filter. Now you can see we are getting events for this specific IP address from different event sources, from your Microsoft server, from a firewall, okay, from a VMware, okay, from a different firewall or an operating server, okay, you can see web server. So everything is available here. And if you want to do correlation, you want to use multiple smart filters, okay, what you can do, I want to see the events, categorize the events where this is source IP address, and you can see along with the count of events, this is destination IP address. This is how fast and easy it is. You want to see events for a specific user in your organization. You simply select the user. So regardless of the event source, you will see all the events are available here. Okay. You want to see events of this user from a specific host. You simply apply the smart filter. So you can use a combination of smart filters in order to do the threat hunting. Okay. You want to filter the events based on different map types. Okay. So what kind of events are available on our platform? So you've got network events, identity events, system events, you've got analytics events, VPN events. Just apply the filter, click on search, you see the results in no time. And when you have integrated products from different vendors on our platform, but you want to see the events coming from a specific vendor, you simply select the vendor, click on search, and the events are filtered in no time. So this is how fast and easy it is. And even here, colleagues, if you want to create a report, you want to extract information to a report for these events, you can simply generate a report from here. You can create different types of reports like group, table, histogram, map, correlator plus, and more. So this was all about the search module, colleagues. Okay. Now I would like to talk about the automated response capabilities, the fully automated and semi-automated response capabilities offered on our platform. That makes sure that you don't need a separate SOAR platform to deal with any kind of alerts. But before that, I would like to show you the out-of-the-box correlation rules that I mentioned about during the presentation. So here's where you can see almost all the use cases you can think about. Okay, I've got brute force related use cases, database scanner host, identifying spam activities of the users. Okay, identifying data exfiltration. Okay, ICMP, port scanners, multiple login failures, Kerberos login failures, Sysmon use cases, PowerShell, they are all available here. Okay, and as I mentioned, colleagues, during the presentation, all these correlation rules are completely customizable. Okay, for example, a brute force MS SQL attacker host. So there is a correlation rule available here, and I want to modify the threshold values. So by default, you can see the correlation rule triggers when 100 login failures happen in 360 seconds. So I will say I want this trigger level to set to 10 login failures in maybe 15 seconds. So this is how you can modify the correlation rules, which is very easy. And then with little training, you can also create your own correlation rules. You want to create your own correlation rule, you can simply add it to the bucket. You can categorize the correlation rule as an emergency, critical, warning, or information based on your requirement. On top of these correlation rules, we have built the alert rules. So the alert rules on our platform are developed in line with the MITRE ATT&CK and CyberKillChain framework. So in line with those frameworks, all the categories that you can think about are available. You can see brute force, collection, command and control, DDoS, honeypot, malware, persistence, reconnaissance, they are all available here. So whenever any kind of alert is using a specific technique ID, it will be mapped in line with this framework. Okay. And then here, if you want to create your own alert tool, that is also possible. Okay. You want to create an entire new category of alerts? Yes, you can also do that. Okay. The platform also offers service level agreement capabilities. You can define the service level agreement for different incidents, okay, or alerts categorized as low, medium, high, or urgent. Okay, you can define the first reply time and the total resolution time that will be tracked in real time and will be visible in the incident management. And even here, to reduce the noise for any alerts, we offer whitelist feature. You can whitelist the alerts in order to reduce the noise. Okay. Let me show you how you can perform fully automated actions. So you simply see the action rules here. Okay, all you have to do is just go here, create your own action rule, which is very easy. So what you can do is simply start by giving a name to the action rule. So what kind of alerts you want to target? Okay, so the first step would be to identify and create a list of alerts for whom we want to perform fully automated actions. So simply select the alerts, create a list. So apart from the DDoS, I want to identify alerts where any kind of failed logins are occurring. Okay, so I create a list of alerts. Okay, so apart from failed logins, maybe I want some brute force alerts to be added to my list. So I've created a list of alerts for whom I want to perform fully automated actions. I click on next and then define new action here. So here's where you're going to see the response tools integrated. Remember, we discussed about the response integrations. All your response tools will appear here. And based on that, you can define the kind of actions that you want to perform whenever any kind of alert is triggered from the list which we have created. So what I would like to do based on my response integrations, I will say, whenever any kind of alert is triggered from the list which I've created, I want an automated action to be performed where I want to isolate an endpoint on the network. I can simply submit it here. First action is defined. I can define another action. Okay, apart from isolating the endpoint on the network, okay, I want to use my firewall and I want to block the source IP address for whom the alert is triggered, okay, so that the IP is no longer active on the network. I can define the duration based on my firewall rules. I want to disable the IP or block the IP, maybe temporarily or permanently. Okay, so let's say 3 hours for test purpose. And with that, maybe I want to create a ticket on my service desk management tool. Okay, or maybe I want to use email integration in order to notify my security team or email or Telegram, okay, or SMS. So any kind of actions that you want to perform are available here based on your response integration. So what happens here is that whenever any kind of alert is triggered from the list which I've created, all these actions that you define here will be performed in a fully automated manner. So in this case, the endpoint will be isolated from the network. The source IP address for whom the alert is triggered will be blocked on the firewall. You can simply click next and you can save the action rule. In future, when you scale your infrastructure, when you add new response integrations, you can always come back and add new actions or delete any kind of obsolete actions that you don't use. Okay, so this is how you can perform fully automated actions without any kind of human intervention. That is something, okay, which I would say will help you to automate the incident response process, and it will help you to accelerate your security maturity, okay? And this is going to help you to move from reactive to proactive defense by quickly addressing the threats as they occur. So that is the advantage offered by the fully automated response capabilities on our platform. Now, whenever any kind of alert is triggered, an incident is also created, okay? And here's where you can see all the incidents, all the alerts available in your organization, okay? For example, you can see here is a case, virus was detected on multiple hosts. You can simply select the incident and it provides you all the information that you need to know in order to do an in-depth analysis. Okay, so here you can see the action object. So this is the virus that was identified. Okay, you can see it's categorized as malware. You can see when the alert was created, when it was updated. And here, colleagues, you can see the incident lifecycle. This is something that is developed in line with the NIST incident response framework. So this will help you to guide, okay, it will help you to understand what stage you're on, what stages have been completed based on your actions, or what stages needs to be completed before you consider this incident to be resolved and before you close it. You can assign the incidents from here, okay? You can add different team members from different teams to work as collaborators on this incident. And if you want to automate this process of assigning the incidents, that is also possible. Here's where you can see all the information related to the incident. You can see the action object, risk level is emergency, priority is high. You want to change it, you can do it from here. You can see total incidents available for this action object, only one. total alerts, you have all the information available related to the specific alert. Okay. And here you can see whenever any kind of action is performed on the incident, it is recorded along with the date and timestamp and the name of the security analyst who has performed the action. So this is something that is going to help you and your customers with the audit trail. Artifacts, providing you detailed information, any kind of artifacts related to this incident. Based on your analysis, if you want to add the artifacts manually, you can do it. You can add artifacts like user, host, URL, IP, file, or hash. So yes, that is possible. Which means the security teams can do the analysis and add the artifacts manually. Here you can see the MITRE ATT&CK tab. Okay, presently this alert is not using any MITRE ATT&CK technique. If you remember, I mentioned that our platform uses alert rules which are developed in line with the MITRE ATT&CK and Cyber Kitchen framework. So if there is any alert identified which is using any MITRE ATT&CK technique, it will be mapped here. And this is how you will be able to see it within the incident tab. And when you click on the technique ID that is used, you will have more information related to it. Okay, you can here also navigate to the MITRE ATT&CK website to see more detection techniques related to the technique ID. Okay. And then you can add a decision, okay, and assign it to specific team members in your organization. Okay. You can post a comment to collaborate with your team here. Okay. So that will appear within the incident timeline. Okay. And then you've got analytics providing you detailed information related to the alert timeline. You can see the source city from where the alert is triggered, the source country, destination IP, if it is using specific port, all the information that you need to know is available here. Okay. And based on your analysis, okay, you want to perform any response action, you simply click the quick action button. And then all your response tools will appear here. So maybe you want to isolate a specific host on the network. You want to block the IP address on the firewall. Okay. Or maybe you want to use your EDR in order to perform a scan on the endpoint. So yes, that is possible. So this is how you can perform end-to-end incident lifecycle management on our platform. And again, this is something that is going to provide a detailed information related to alerts for your security teams. And based on their analysis, they can perform action. And as and when you perform any action, you will see a progress on the incident lifecycle here. And once the cycle is completed, you have performed all the action, you can simply close the incident here. Okay. So this was all about the incident management capabilities, colleagues. Now let's move to the dashboard. So as I mentioned during the presentation, you get a lot of dashboards out of the box here. You can see this is a default dashboard with an all event time histogram where you can see events are categorized based on information, warning, critical, debug, and more. Events categorized based on context. You can see VPN, analytics, application security events. Events categorized based on different types of events like connection events, command event, web event, URL, and more. Events categorized based on actions like login, logout events, access granted or denied event, and more. And as I mentioned during the presentation, colleagues, you want to perform search, you can perform a search from the dynamic search from the dashboard. You just click the category and you have the list of events. And once you're here, you know how you can use the search module in order to do threat hunting. You want to do correlation. So yes, that is possible. Okay. Apart from the main dashboard, colleagues, you're going to get these dashboards. You can integrate your database and see database activities. You can see your organization's complete cybersecurity posture here. Okay. You can see suspicious objects, time analysis with unique alert counts. So here's the action objects for whom the alerts are triggered. You can see the top alerts. Okay. You can see infected host was detected. Okay. Attack was detected on a security device. Malware event activity was detected. Okay. Then top 10 notable alerts here, along with the alerts and category analysis. Okay. You can even drill down to a specific action object for these alerts. Okay. And then there are other dashboards. Okay. You can see your Logsign server system events. You can see the CPU usage, disk usage, EPS stats, health check, critical states, and more. Okay. And with that, you can also see the file access control. If you have enabled file auditing on your file server, you can see the file share time analysis, shared folders, file share events like events executed with usernames, shared object, shared name, and more. Okay. And then you've got network analytics. Okay, you can see your network, traffic overview, bandwidth analysis, FTP analysis. So almost all the dashboards, colleagues, that you may need are available. You can see download, upload usage with port, with specific protocols. They are all available here. And as I mentioned, colleagues, these dashboards are completely customizable. Okay, using 24 different pages, you can customize these dashboards. Okay, you want to add a new widget, that is also possible. Okay, you want to download the dashboard, you want to perform search for a specific action object, you want to customize the time frame on the dashboard, you want to see the analytics for the last 5 minutes, 15 minutes, okay, 2 hours, 24 hours, 1 week, or a specific date and time, that is also possible. This is completely based on the data retention policies available on your platform. And with all these colleagues, there is always an option to create custom dashboards based on your requirement. If you want to make your custom dashboard as a default dashboard, yes, that is also possible. So the dashboard, as you can see, colleagues, offer comprehensive information related to analytics with a complete user-friendly and customizable approach. Now, colleagues, let's move to the reports module. Okay. As I mentioned again during the presentation, you're going to get hundreds of out-of-the-box reports for different products offered by different vendors. So all you have to do is just come here, click on the plus sign, and all these reports will be installed in no time. And then here you can see you can filter the reports based on categories. Okay, different categories of reports. And based on different compliance, like you've got custom reports, compliance of vendor specific reports, or based on compliance, what kind of reports you want to generate. FISMA, PCI DSS, ISO 27001. You just select the compliance. You click on the events or the reports that you want to generate. I want to see all the logged or unlocked events. You can see the report is available in no time. You want to filter the report data, just like filtering the events. You can say, I want to generate the report for the last 6 hours. Click on apply. You can see the events are filtered. The report is available here. And here you can use the smart filter. You can say, I want to generate the report for a specific user. Maybe I want to do it for Emma. I can click on search. A report is available. All the information you can see when the time was generated, event source IP address, along with the event source, details of the user and the event is available here. Okay. And then you want to extract it to a report. Yes, it is easy. You can extract the information to a PDF, Excel, CSV, or HTML format. Okay. You can change the orientation. You can make it portrait or landscape. You can also define your max row count in the report. Okay. And with this, colleagues, you can see the settings option here. So this option will help you to modify the content of the report. What kind of columns you want to add or omit. Okay, what kind of smart filters you want to apply for the report. So that is also possible and very user-friendly. Okay. And with that, you want to create different types of reports. We offer group reports, table, histogram, map, correlator. They are all available. Let's create a histogram report for Palo Alto VPN events. You can see the report is available in no time. And as I showed you before, you can use smart filters. You can filter the time duration. You can extract the report. You can modify the report in no time. Okay. And when you export the reports will appear here. You want to send the report to someone over email, you can do that. You want to download the report, you want to delete it. Yes, that is possible. Okay. And this is the most important feature that I mentioned, colleagues, schedule report feature. So using this feature, you can automate the process of sending the reports automatically. Okay. You can simply give a name to your report. Okay. What kind of report you want to send. Okay. You can select the data range. I want data since yesterday, last week, last month, today, or a custom day range. That is possible. Okay. You can select in which type you want to export the reports. Maybe in HTML format. I want to repeat the schedule, the report one day, maybe once every day, every week, or every month. I want to send it every day, starting from tomorrow at this time. So I can define the time. I can also set the expiry. So I want to send the report every day for the next 14 days or 30 days, or maybe I will say disable so that I can come back and disable it later. And I can also type in a mail body here. So this will ensure that a daily report with this report from data since I will say yesterday in HTML format will be sent every day at this time. So this is how you can schedule the report. So you may also have a requirement where you want to send multiple reports. So you can use the multiple schedules. So you want to send weekly reports. Okay. With any kind of attack events, you can simply add the report. Or maybe you want to see any kind of virus or malware events in the report. Okay. Or maybe any kind of VPN logon failure reports, you can add the reports. When you've added multiple reports, you can say, this is a weekly report. So I will say, I want data since last week in HTML format. I want it every week starting from next Monday. I want the report to be sent at this time. Okay. And I don't want this report to expire. I will type my mail body here. So this is how you can schedule a weekly report. A weekly report with all these reports with data since last week in HTML format will be sent every week on a Monday at this time. So this is how you can schedule the weekly report. Another important feature, colleagues, if you remember, I mentioned about the data retention policies. So if you're retaining the index data, maybe say only for 15 days, but you have the archive data available for 1 year. Maybe you want to bring back data for a specific day from an archive data from the last month. So for this, we have made the offline report feature available here. So this will help you to optimally utilize the storage of your Logsign server. Because the archive data is available on our platform in the compressed format, you want to bring it back as a live data to be available as live data for search for any kind of forensic or audit purpose. You can do it here very easily. You just give your report description, write your report query and say, I want to bring back data from last month, from previous month, or maybe before that for this specific day. Okay. And maybe I want to bring back the data for 1 or 2 days. Okay, I define the time. This is how you can do it. And you click on the option to check the archive, and data for these 2 days will be brought back from the archive data as live data available for search on the platform. So this is how you will be able to optimize the storage of your server. You can optimally utilize the storage or system resources of your Logsign server. Okay. Now let's talk about the UEBA capabilities, colleagues. So if you remember, I mentioned that for UEBA capabilities, okay, all you have to do is just integrate your LDAP server and synchronize your assets and identities from here, okay? And based on the correlation rules, what happens is that you will be able to see the top notable users and assets here within the UEBA. Now, since this is a demo system, okay, I don't have much details available here, but I can definitely show you how it looks like when we move to the support portal. So here's where, let me show it to you, colleagues. So UEBA completely works on risk scoring, colleagues. Okay. So here you will be able to see all the details related to the assets and users, along with the time interval for the last 15 minutes, for the last 1 week. Okay. So matrix of incidents and behavior is available for the last 1 week with the time interval of 15 minutes. So here you can identify if there is any behavior or any kind of alert recorded for a specific user or an asset. When you click on a user or an asset within UEBA, you will have complete analytics available here. You can see their total events, total alerts, incidents, devices, if they are operating from different locations, different accounts they are accessing. You can see their risk score here, okay? And when you actually look at the UEBA, you will see the total risk score, their risk trend, the present risk score, risk trend, whether it is increasing or decreasing. You can see the top notable users and assets. So this is something, colleagues, that will help you to keep an eye, keep a tab on the users and assets in your organization who could be performing any kind of malicious activity. So this is one use case that is going to provide you that's one use case, and the UEB is definitely going to provide you comprehensive information related to the users and assets in your organization. Okay, and regarding the threat intelligence, colleagues, I would like to revisit again. As I mentioned, we are using 45 plus well-trusted global TI feeds to provide insights related to TI in real time. And the enrichment is really easy. Okay, you simply come to Logsign enrichment and enable it here, and it will be enabled. And then based on the information available on the platform, you've got the TI platform also available here, threat intelligence analysis. Okay. So as I mentioned, this is a demo machine. I don't have much data here. Okay, you've got threat intelligence overview available. Okay, so if any IPs are identified in TI, you will have more information available here. And not only this, colleagues, in case if you plan to use any third-party threat intelligence platforms, that is also available. Okay, so you can simply use Abuse IPTP in order to do manual investigation for IP addresses to identify the risk score of an IP address, or maybe you want to use VirusTotal to identify the IP reputation. So this can be also integrated. Or if you are looking for dark web, deep web monitoring, you want to integrate solutions like brand defense. So yes, that is also possible. And this is not the limit, colleagues. As I mentioned before, if there is any specific tool, specific solution you want to collect the logs from, you want to use it as a response integration, and if you don't see it on the platform available out of the box, feel free to let us know and we will help you with the required integration. So colleagues, on the Logsign Unified SecOps platform, You've seen it all starts with collection, ends with detection and response. You have seen real-time enrichment and UEBA providing you some kind of meaningful information to identify the top notable users and assets in your organization. Okay. So you will see that the Logsign Unified SecOps platform is going to offer you speed. It's offering you agility, providing you streamlined operations, it's reducing the complexity, providing you instant insights, okay, within a single pane of glass, okay, and with that offers you seamless integration capabilities, help you to adopt proactive defense. So one platform offering total security control, okay, and as the title of our webinar suggests, so this is something that is going to help you to convert your logs in security. Okay, so that is where I would like to stop, colleagues. And then I would like to thank all my colleagues for the time and for your patience in listening to me. So now we are open for any question and answers that you may have. So colleagues from Progress team, if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Said. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
За танилцуулаад дууссан демо нэлээд дэлгэрэнгүй демо үзүүллээ. Та асуух асуулт байвал чат хэсгээр бичээд өгөөрэй. Тэгээд Q&A хэсгээ явуулъя.
And colleagues, in case if you have any questions, even after the session, you can simply feel free to visit our support portal, that is support.logsign.net. And yes, you can always feel free to get in touch with our colleagues in the Progress stream. Okay, we are also available to help you. And you can also feel free to register on our academy. We also offer certification with 2 different courses on our academy, on the Logsign Academy, that is academy.logsign.com. Please feel free to sign up there and we'll activate the accounts for you. You can take up the courses in a self-paced way and you can also get Logsign certified. So we are still here, colleagues. We still have time. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask or you can post your questions on the chat.
Yeah, just wait for questions to come. There's no questions here yet. За окей, асуулт авахгүй бол вебинараа ингээд дуусгая да. Оролцсон хүмүүстээ бүгдэнд нь баярлалаа. Thank you, Said. Thank you, Martin, for your time. Since there is no questions, I think it's okay to wrap it up.
Thank you very much to everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much,
passion.
guys.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Thank you.
day
Bye
all.
for now.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.